Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing a bunch of teams in the offseason for college football right now with Steve from collegefootballwinning.com, and that, of course, is all that Steve does all year round, college football. Right now, we're going to take a look at Mississippi, and it is late June. Steve, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you for having me back, Peter.
All right, Mississippi is what we're going to discuss. Before we get to it, tell everyone a little bit how good your record is at collegefootballwinning.com.
Thank you, Peter. I'd be happy to. At collegefootballwinning.com, all we do is college football betting analysis 365 days out of the year. I think we're the only such service that offers a 100% money-back guarantee for the entire season. Last season, our formula against the spread winning rate, and formula, that's what we call our algorithmic picks or betting selections, and we're a company that was founded on making betting selections algorithmically. We beat the spread at a rate of 66.18%. Lifetime, those algorithmic betting selections have beaten the spread at a rate of 63.04%. So we hope everybody wants to join us. And if you do, you go to collegefootballwinning.com, you put in coupon code SBR10, that's SBR10, and you'll get 10% off of any membership that we're currently offering.
Okay, sounds good, Steve. Ole Miss currently market-wide, I see them at about 50-1 to win the national championship, and that puts them in about the mid-teens. So they're about ranked 15th, 16th currently based on market odds to win the national championship. Against the spread last year, very average, 7-6 ATS and 6-7 over/under. So the market thinks that Mississippi's going to be pretty good this year. Ranking them 15th, 16th. What's your forecast for Mississippi for the upcoming year?
Yes. We're going to look at three things here today with Ole Miss. First, their season against the spread possibilities. Second, their national championship futures. And the third thing I want to look at for Ole Miss is a possible prop bet on season win totals.
Okay.
So you and I, we did a video earlier talking about an article that I wrote for SBR, and it was Conditions for Profitable College Football Betting. So that was looking at the conditions that you want to see when you're anticipating a team having a successful against the spread college football season. What's desirable? You want the team to be unranked by preseason polls, namely the AP. Well, Ole Miss is going to be ranked. Okay, so that one's not there. Second, you want the team to have been unprofitable in the prior against the spread season. In 2013, you already said Ole Miss was 7-6. They're one game above 500, so they were narrowly profitable. It's not too bad. Number three, you want to see an increase in their straight-up wins from the prior season. That's so important for all teams, but especially Ole Miss. Case in point, the last 10 seasons, 80% of the time Ole Miss increased their straight-up wins from the prior season, they were profitable against the spread. 80% of the time that they decreased their straight-up wins from the prior season, they were unprofitable against the spread. So Ole Miss, they had 8 straight-up wins in 2013. So what we're looking for is the possibility of them getting at least nine straight-up wins. Now their schedule, their out-of-conference schedule starts, it opens with Boise, but it's a so-called neutral site game in the Georgia Dome. So not that far from Oxford, Mississippi, but really far from Boise, Idaho. Then they have Louisiana Lafayette, they have Memphis, and they have Presbyterian. So you put that together, we think 4 straight-up wins right there out of conference. Now, their SEC road schedule. They have to go to Vanderbilt. Okay, that's Vanderbilt in the first year without head coach James Franklin, so rebuilding. They have to go to Texas A&M, and you and I are about to talk about Texas A&M in another video. They've got some issues. They go to LSU, where Hugh Freeze plays LSU tough. He's 1-1 straight up against LSU, and their only loss that one loss at Death Valley, where they're going to have to play this year, they lost by 6 points. It was 41-35 in 2012, despite outgaining LSU by 35 yards. And then Ole Miss has to go to Arkansas, and that's a troubled Arkansas team under Brett Bielema so far. So we think out of that road schedule, they can eke out another 3 straight-up wins. Now, their SEC home schedule, look what they get at home. They get Alabama at home, Tennessee, Auburn at home, and for the Egg Bowl, they get Mississippi State at home. From there, we think at least 2 straight-up wins are going to come out of there. Our season conclusion, then, as a prop bet, we like the over. We like going over 7.5 wins, even at, last time I saw it, minus 155. So we like over 7.5 wins. We like the possibility of them increasing their straight-up wins from 2013. So we're looking for a narrowly to moderately profitable against the spread overall season for them. Now for their futures bet, 2015 in college football, the national championship, for the 2015 college football national championship, that will be determined by a committee choosing the 4 best teams, and that committee has just 13 people. That makes it the most subjective method of determining the 4 best teams since before the BCS. So since that process is so new and so subjective, we've been recommending the most conservative approach to national championship futures betting. Now that said, Ole Miss, obviously an SEC team. So subjectively, people think that's the best conference in college football. That's going to be a real positive for the selection committee. Their toughest games are in Oxford. So when we combine a strong defense, and Ole Miss is returning the 3rd most tackles defensively in the entire FBS and the most in the SEC, they have excellent coaching, and they have the most experienced quarterback in the SEC, and they have a schedule that is an SEC schedule that has a cachet to impress a committee, and 50-1 odds. You put all that together, we like taking a futures bet flyer on Ole Miss. So here are our concerns for Ole Miss. That said, we have some offensive line questions, and we think they're dangerously inexperienced at quarterback behind Bo Wallace. And Bo Wallace is a quarterback who likes to run, and he's required to do so in this offense, and he has been injured before. So that's a bit of a question mark for us. Now, Ole Miss, from when they're, some betting facts about them. When they're held under 140 rushing yards, they beat the spread just 30% of the time. So they've got to get that running game going. When Ole Miss, defensively, when they held FBS offenses under 140 rushing yards themselves, they're 12-2 against the spread under Hugh Freeze. That's tremendous. Now, line movement. So by line movement, we mean, the changing from the opening number to the closing number. That has not been predictive in Ole Miss games under Hugh Freeze. The line movement has indicated the correct side just 43.48% of the time. Reverse line movement. Reverse line movement, usually an indicator of where the sharp money has gone when it opposes the majority of the public betting. The reverse line movement side has been wrong more than it's been right in Ole Miss games. So if you think you're looking at a sharp side, probably not that sharp. The total has gone under in 66.67% of Ole Miss's away games under Hugh Freeze. The over has been correct overall, just 48% of Ole Miss's games since Hugh Freeze got there. Yet the majority of the public betting has been on the over 82% of the time. So watch those overs, people. Our conclusion, I think you should take that national championship futures bet flyer at 50-1 or better on Ole Miss. Now, that doesn't mean we think they're going to win a national championship. This is all about value, Peter. So for us, we like taking a flyer on them, thinking at 50-1 odds, there's real value on Ole Miss here. Take the over as a prop bet on 7.5 wins, and we expect a narrowly to modestly profitable against the spread season, mostly based on them increasing their straight-up wins from last season.
Steve, thanks so much. Sounds like a good year on the horizon for Mississippi. Thanks so much.